I will request today's honorable speaker, Mr. Jaideep Prasad, please turn on his camera, and I'll be introducing many of the most unsound stories, and we'll be starting with the event. So before I say anything regarding Developer Student Club, I'll request Mr. Jaideep Prasad, please turn on his camera so that people could see the unseen hero. Yeah, thanks a lot. Hey.
Hey guys.
So,
Hey, Jaideep, how are you? Good evening.
Hey guys. Hey everybody.
So everybody is waiting, excited as you can see. So let us get started. So before we start the main course, let us start from a very beginning a story. We Developer Student Club started this initiative to grow and to make our community very productive in our own university, that is Lovely Professional University. We have also done several other workshops and webinars to encourage the spirit of open source. Our team and Mr. Bhavesh Mali, DSC lead, has tried a lot. Few of the workshops and webinars are so fruitful that we can see in the March, that was Global Solution Challenge. We have seen a lot of people have joined the workshop. They have created amazing products with TensorFlow, Flutter, and they have done really well in the dental hack. And also I hope many of you will be seeing in the top 50 for the Global Solution Challenge, and it's all because of the efforts of Developer Student Club, W Professional University. And today, similarly, as there are a lot of myth going on in the place in the community, today Developer Student Club has brought an amazing speaker for everybody to leverage the quality knowledge and the quality guideline. So today I'll be love to welcome one of the person who has a lot experience. Even in 1 hour I can't explain what he has done to the community. He is two-time GSoCer. This year 2021 he's a GSoC mentor. He's been doing intern as a software developer intern in Geo India. He is also software developer engineer at Trell, and he is also the Google Coding mentor. He has also participated, and he is associated with Fosia, lot of other community, and he's one of the top rated open source contributor in India. I'd like to introduce none other than Mr. Jaideep Prasad, and we are very welcome you, sir. We are really glad to have you on board, and we can see the enthusiasm and we can see the spirit of students. They are really here to learn from it. And of course, it could have been possible without Mr. Bhavesh Mali and the team. So I'd like to request Mr. Bhavesh Mali, our DSC lead, to please get started with today's evening. Please, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And that was really nice introduction for Jaideep. So, hello folks, good evening everyone. Before moving to that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Bhavesh Mali, and I'm leading this dsclpu selected by Google developer. And today event is going to all about the Google Summer of Code. A lot of myths are going on. The people are really passionate about open source. The rumors are going to be, especially in the first student. So I found Jaideep was really great for today's sessions, and he accepted our invitation. So thanks so much for that, Jaideep. And I guess the introduction has been done of Jaideep very nicely by both. So now over to you, Jaideep.
Yeah. Thanks, Bhavesh. Thanks, boss. That was a really, overwhelming and warm welcome from you guys. That was really some great kind words of you guys. And I'm seeing a lot of attendees today, and I hope I can definitely add some value to everyone today, and they can really learn something from today's session and implement it in their careers and their lives as well. So yeah. So sure, I guess Bhavesh and boss, we can start with today's session. I can share my screen and we will get started.
I'd like to interrupt, please be sorry, pardon me. All the folks out there who has their doubts, will be making it a stack. Don't forget to write your comments, your doubts. I'll be keeping in a stack, and after Mr. Jaideep will be explaining everything, we'll be keep every doubt and we'll be explaining one by one. So keep one thing in mind, don't forget to shoot your queries. We'll be putting in a stack. Yeah, please.
One more very important announcement, folks. All the questions that both has shared will be done in stack way in the last, once everything has been done by our guest speaker, Mr. Jaideep Prasad. So if you can look at the chat window, there are 3 options. One is general, second is question and answer, and third is DM. So whatever questions you have to put on question and answer section. So we'll be take your question at once everything is done from the Jaideep. So you don't have to ask a question in the chat window on general, and there will be the question answer option. So in the chat window you can have a look. So I guess it's clear. Everyone say yes.
I can't see that window, sorry, but okay, for me it might be a problem. Okay, it's visible for everybody. Okay, it's visible.
That's good to know. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, boss, you want to say something? shall we proceed?
Yeah, many of the students can't see that window, so that's a
Okay,
problem. I think.
no issue. If those who can see, they can put it their question and question and answer. Meanwhile, you can put the question on general chat window. We'll be taking from here as well.
Yeah, sure. So please,
Okay.
Jaideep, please. You can start your experience.
Yeah,
and
Jaideep,
everything.
over to you.
Awesome. Thanks guys. I'll be sharing my screen now, and we'll be getting started with today's session. Awesome. Yeah, can you guys just confirm, is my screen visible?
Visible, completely visible.
Awesome. So cool, guys. So thanks to everybody, first of all, for joining today, and taking the time out from their, daily schedules to, learn something actually which can, really be very fruitful in their careers if when talking about, the technical industry or, the software development industry in general. So yeah, so as you all know, today's session has been termed as the roadmap to GSoC 21. So yeah, so let's get started with today's session. So before that, just a brief introduction. Already, I guess the dsclpu members have given me a very warm welcome. So yeah, I won't be spending much time here. So currently I'm actually associated with something which I'm trying to build for a very practical platform for the student community. As you guys would know, I will be sharing more info and details about the platform towards the end of the session, so that more of you guys can actually get benefits from the services and the type of things we are trying to do for the student community out there. And apart from that, as the dsclpu members have already told, I've done GSoC twice with Aussie and FOSS Asia. I've done internships with Trell, Geo, Release My Ad, and I've been mentors with TensorFlow, OpenMe, FOSS, and I've also been contributing to various organizations like Flutter, Dart, Anita Bjork, and lots more, right? So if you guys want to follow my work and what all stuff I've been doing, you can just get on my GitHub account and just see the stuff I've been putting out there. I guess it will be definitely adding some value to someone, and people can get benefit from there, right? Yeah, so proceeding further and starting off more about the session, like I see like a lot of students are from first year and second year, and like many don't know about this program, and I believe that before anything they should be enlightened about what the program actually is, rather than just starting to know things about the program. So before that, I just wanted to tell about what Google Sum of Code is actually. So this is basically an open source program sponsored by Google, where student developers contribute to projects of various orgs under mentorship of respective mentors, right? So this is basically just a extensive open source program sponsored by Google, where you can contribute to various projects, open source projects of different organizations out there, and you actually get paid for your contributions after you have a successful completion of the project you have taken up. And also I want to add on to this particular program's definition is that it is not actually an internship with Google, or rather a competition of some sorts. This is actually a collaborative environment which has been put up by Google to promote open source and influence the developers and students to learn more about what open source is, and get ready for the actual kind of work they will be doing when they leave their colleges or they pass out and join the actual tech industry or in the software development line, right? So this is something really appreciated by Google as open source, the kind of work which students put in, and they really want to bring in more students every year, and they want students to know about this wonderful community out there, right? So this is what actually Google Sum of Code is. This is just an extensive program of by Google, where developers contribute to various projects of different organizations, right? So before there is some steps for which you need to keep in mind before you actually apply for GSoC and actually get selected, right? There are some certain criteria given by Google which you need to follow. So everything is actually provided in a timeline manner, right? On If you can go to the GSoC website, I will be, I have the link here. I will be showing you guys live, like where you guys can actually see this particular timeline and plan out things. So as you see, the Google is following a certain timeline for this particular program, and the current phase is actually the student application phase, where the organizations have already been selected who will be participating this year, and currently the students will be taking the look at the projects available, and they will be applying to their interested projects which they want to work upon during the Google Sum of Code period, right? So the very next step would be to actually choose an organization and make a draft proposal, get it reviewed, and you always want to apply early. You shouldn't be wanting to apply at the deadline or some sort of time like that you will be waiting towards the end day and then you will be applying. It shouldn't be like that. You should always target some, you should have some days to get the proposal reviewed, so that the mentors or admins can actually give some reviews on your proposal, and you can actually update your proposal accordingly, so that you have a much better chance of getting selected, right? So I will share more details about how you can create the proposal and what all things should be included in the proposal and what the proposal actually is, right? So before that, I just want to show you the timeline which I've been talking about. You guys can take a screenshot of the URL if you want, and you guys can visit the URL. I will also share all these URLs in the chat towards the end of the session, right? So here you will see the entire timeline provided by Google for the GSoC 21 event, right? Everything is provided, like currently the student applications period are going on, and after that what things are going to happen, right? Everything you can get to know from there. So currently, as I said, the student application period is live, and it will be going to end on April 13th, right? So that is something which you should keep in mind for now, and you should apply way early. Like, you shouldn't wait at the very last date. I will always recommend you guys to make a draft proposal and apply early to the interested project or organization you're trying to, right? So yeah, so again, like, coming back to the session, yeah. So once now that you have got the idea of the timeline, so there have been some changes this season. Actually, if you compare the about section of the program from last year, there have been a couple of changes which you guys, I believe that you should be knowing about that. So first up is that they have reduced the coding period. Earlier it was 3 months long, along with the community bonding period, but this time they have reduced it to a 10-week coding period, so that students can break down their work in a much smaller amount of time, and they can actually give out something productive during that period, right? And also the stipend has been reduced from last year. It has been reduced to $1,500, and the number of evaluations by mentors have also been reduced to 2 from 3. Like last year there were 3 evaluations for 3 months. Students needed to submit their code after each month's work, and mentors would be evaluating their code and giving the pass or fail status on their work every month, right? But this year they have been reduced to 2. There is one initial evaluation, and the final one is towards the end of the program, right? So, and also the eligibility has been opened up more, and it has been made more flexible towards all sorts of students. Earlier there were some limitations that only students who are currently studying in a college or will be or are pursuing some sort of graduation degree, they only can participate. But this time they have opened it up towards more students, like people who are pursuing some sort of technical diploma in computer science, they also can participate, or students who are learning coding from some sort of boot camps or other institutions, they also can participate in this program, right? So they have made the eligibility for students more flexible, so that a lot of students can participate this year, right? Yeah. So now moving forward, so what are the steps you need to follow before you get selected into Google Sum of Code, and what are the things should you need to do in order to even have a chance to get selected, right? So there are certain steps. There is nothing special hidden or something. You just need to follow some certain steps in a good consistent manner, and definitely you will have a more than fair chance of getting selected in the program, right? So first up is that you need to select an organization. So I also have the link here of the organization's page. I will share it. So what you need to do is that you need to go to the to that particular URL. You need to look for organizations which have projects of your interest, right? You can search for like the tech stack which you are interested in or which you know about. You can search about the tech stack, and you can select a category from the drop down, and you can all the organizations will be filtered out accordingly, and you can see and check out through the projects which the organizations have, and choose organization which you want to contribute to, right? After seeing the community and seeing the code base, the organization which you feel that yes, you can contribute to the project, or you are getting a clear idea about its code base, you can choose that organization and start contributing to it, right? So I also have the link here. I will open it up here so that you guys can take a screenshot of that again if you want. I will also share the link towards the end of the session. So as you can see here, all the organizations are listed down who have like various sorts of projects, and as you can see, the various technologies involved in this particular organization, they are listed out here. So you can just clearly check out the organization, like which technology is suitable for you, or the technology which you have worked upon. They are listed out here, and you can just if you want to submit a proposal or want to contribute to this particular project or organization, you can just go to that particular organization page, and you can just check out their mailing list. There is a contact email if you want to talk about specific things with the organization admins or mentors, or even have a mutual discussion. And you can check the ideas list for this year's GSoC, right, of that particular organization, right? So this is something which you need to take care of before doing anything. You just need to come out here in the organization section. You can just choose a tech stack or a category which you want to which you have a knowledge about and want to do work on. So all the organizations will be filtered upon. As you can see, I choose this particular category, and the organizations have been filtered out accordingly, right? And you can just see the technologies involved in a particular organization, and if there is a technology which you see that yes, you know about that particular tech stack, or about that particular skill, you can just check out the idea list, and you can just submit a proposal as per the instructions given. As you can see, different organization will have certain specific instructions according to them. As you can see, this particular organization have their own proposal format which you can follow and like create your own proposal, right? So definitely do check out every organization's page which you want to contribute to, and prepare yourself or your proposal according to that. You don't just follow any other simple plain format. If organization provides something very specific to themselves, like try to follow that, because the organization has already mentioned it on their page, right? So that certainly would have been done for some reason, right? So definitely do keep a look on that. I always recommend for you guys to check it out on yourself, like the kind of organizations which you want to contribute to and the kind of projects you want to work upon during the GSoC period if you get selected, right? So that is something which I would recommend that you primarily do, and select organization, choose see projects available, and finalize on which project and under which organization you want to work upon or contribute to during the GSoC period, right? So again, if you guys want, you can take a screenshot of this, or I will provide the URL towards the end of the session. So again, coming back to our session, so after that we are done with selecting organization and choosing organization after seeing the projects available and the tech stacks available, the ones which are interested to us and we want to contribute to that. Now next thing comes is that we are about to create a proposal, right? So even like as I already gave you guys a look about various organization pages, different organizations have a specific template for which they want students to create the proposal of, right? So you should guys definitely like look for those organization pages and see what those organizations have listed down in their specifics, right? So you guys can take inspiration from there and just draft out the proposal from that as well, right? But I have listed out some couple of things which is very common, and you should definitely focus on these points before anything, right, when you are creating your proposal. So first up is that your short personal info, your past works and skills, right? So this is again a basic thing, but still a very important thing which a lot of students forget to include in their proposals, and they just try to write about the project. But again, if you don't you or what kind of work you have done in the past, that doesn't give a good impression, right? So you should definitely include all this. You should add but again, all these should be brief. It shouldn't be a very long kind of thing that you have started explaining a lot of things. It should be very brief and to the point. You should include your past open source contributions if you have worked on to some like past open source projects as well. Even if it's of a different organization, no issue. You can just contribute, you can just mention the contribution links on the proposal itself, right? So yeah, so that is something which is the first point. And again, like the next point is a very important point, is that you should have a planning about what, how and when you would be achieving the deliverables of the project, right? So again, of every organization and of every project, on the ideas list page, as you will see if you can go to the organization page which I just showed you earlier. So every project has their own set of deliverables which the organization has listed out that they want the student to work upon. So you should be first and foremostly planning out that how will you be able to achieve it, right? You should get the clarity about the project itself, like what the project actually is and what its motive is, and then very well plan out things that you are going to do once you are selected in the GSoC period, right? So that is very important thing which a lot of students lack, is that they just come in a hasty manner, and they just look at the project ideas and start preparing a proposal like before spending some time on it, right? So first and foremost, I would recommend is that spend 1 to 2 days about like looking into the project, like understanding what the project does, how it behaves, and what all things need to be done as per the deliverables given by the organization. And then you start drafting your proposal accordingly, right? By dividing the work which you have planned out, right? So which brings me to the third point, is that you should break down the plans with clarity and take details, right? So now that you have planned out what kind of work you will be doing like on the project, after you have understood the deliverables and the project itself, you should actually break down your entire plans into sub parts and list them down in a good tabular manner with proper clarity and technical details, right? So you should properly include like how you will be achieving a certain feature, or how you will be developing that certain feature, and with what help, if you will be requiring some third-party integrations or third-party libraries, right? You should clearly mention all those with proper links, like for reference links, so that the mentors also can take a look at those and can give approval that yes, they can use those particular things which you have proposed, and you can go ahead with that, right? So that is something which is really necessary. You should break down the entire plan which you have prepared, and you should clearly mention them down and note them down in proper detailed way, right? So again, the fourth point is that you should follow a proper timeline to complete the deliverables and try to finish the feature development a week early, right? So again, this is also something very important, is that when you are laying out the proposal and you're breaking down your plans, you should always follow a proper timeline that yes, I am going to complete this project over the say 10-week of time. So what I will be doing for the very first week, what I will be doing for the second week, what I will be doing for the third week. You should be breaking your work down as per timeline of certain weeks, right? So you shouldn't be look like just writing down things as in a bunch manner. You should always break it down according to various like weeks, and then draft it out, right? And always try to complete all your work a week early. Like you should draft your proposal in such a manner that you are able to complete, and on paper you are able to finish the project 1 week early before the actual timeline ends of the GSoC period, right? So actually that has a good impression on the mentors that yes, you have planned things out accordingly, that you have keepin 1 week bonus so that you guys can the student can actually focus more on bug fixes or documentation and unit testing and things like that, right? Apart from the coding point of view or the feature development, right? So that actually gives a good impression to the mentors that yes, the student has a clarity about things and he has planned out things accordingly on the timeline, right? So again, as I said that different organizations have their different templates which they might have been listed out on their organization website. So but again, Google has officially proposed a basic template for a proposal which you can follow and submit if your organization hasn't laid out something. I am again opening the link here. You guys can take a screenshot of this and I will be providing the link as well. So here Google has officially listed out what all things you need to write in your proposal and in what manner actually, right? So again, this is a really helpful instruction which Google has given, and if you guys haven't had a chance to look at it, I will recommend please do give a look at it and follow the structure which they have provided, and read it first of all. Like try to understand what all things need to be included under a certain heading, and write down those things and put out those things on your proposal accordingly, right? And then you can draft it out and submit it on your GSoC portals, right? So definitely again you can take a screenshot of this. I will be sharing the link as well, right? So coming back to our session, right? So after now that we have a fair idea about how we should draft out our proposal, now let's move on to the next things, right? So again, this is something which is a very popular thing asked by students, and I see a lot of students having this question that okay, I understand that this is such a huge program, but what are the prerequisites of such a program, and what do I need to know even consider myself eligible that I will be doing good in this particular program, right? So I have listed out some things which you guys can take a look at. So first and foremost is that you should be familiar with any programming language. Like it can be like C, C++, Java, Kotlin, Python, Dart, JavaScript, anything, right? And along with that, you should be familiar with its respective tech stack, right? Like if, for example, if you know Java or Kotlin, you should be knowing Android development, right? And if you know JavaScript, you should be familiar with web development or front-end development, something like that, right? So that is something which you need to take care about. Like if you are have knowledge about any particular programming language, you should also be familiar with its corresponding tech stack, right? So again, after that you should know the basics of that language, and you should have been made some projects on that particular tech stack, right? So if you guys think that you don't have certain experience, so there is a very general way to judge that is that if you are have selected or chosen a tech stack which you want to work with, you just do a couple of projects on that, couple of good projects on that. I won't say that you just carry out couple of basic projects and you can follow from that, but I will say you can do 2 to 3 good projects which wherein you can implement a lot of things and test out yourself actually that yes, you can do things properly with that particular tech stack, right? Because that definitely gives you that self-confidence that yes, if given the opportunity, you can do justice to some other project as well, right? And also one of the most important things, like when talking about open source and GSoC, is that version control, right? So again, you guys can do a bit research about version control, what it is. But the most and primary thing required while you're working with version control is Git and GitHub, right? So and all if all of you guys might be familiar with GitHub mostly, but there is also another such service provided by GitLab. Like a lot of organizations have their projects hosted on GitLab, so you guys can definitely check that out as well. Like it's not only GitHub, GitLab is also there, and a lot of organizations have their projects over there, right? So you should be familiar with Git and its workflow, like how commits are made, how you should send a pull request, right? All those kind of basic things you should be familiar about that. And you should be knowing like how the GitHub workflow works, and how you create a issue, or you discuss over the issue, and then you send in a PR, and then the PR gets the pull request gets approved and merged into the code base. So this kind of a workflow, you should have a general and basic idea, right? And the tech stacks which I was talking about earlier, as you can see, like there are various tech stacks. Like since a lot of students ask that which tech stacks to follow, you can just choose anything from here. Like all these tech stacks are very demanding in today's market, and there are lots of job opportunities as well over these tech stacks, right? So you can definitely take a look. But again, like talking after all saying all that, is that you don't actually need to be an expert of certain sorts, right? Everybody knows that you are a student, and you are trying to contribute to projects, industry level projects, right? So nobody expects you to be an expert in anything, but what you will need to do is that you need to be be open to learn, and whatever the mentors or the admins say over a certain sort of thing, you should be able to grab that like fairly quickly, and you should be able to update your code, or update your issue accordingly, right? If you have opened the issue and the mentor has talked about certain thing, you should be open to their feedback, and you should update things accordingly, right? So definitely everything comes with experience. So you first and foremost, if you're a complete beginner in this field, I would say you just start out things, right? Until and unless you give it a go and start it out, you won't be knowing like what the actual workflow looks like, right? So there is like all these certain kind of projects available out there over GitHub. You can just go to GitHub and search for projects which are related to your tech stack, and you will get a hell lot of projects which you can start taking a look at, and you can get an experience like how work is going on over there, and how people are making use of the services provided by GitHub and GitLab, right? So yeah, so these are something which I would say about the prerequisites for certain students who had this question in their mind. Yeah, so now moving up next to our next points is that how to make contributions, right? So again, so this is again a very important slide for this session, is that now that you know about how the work is going on and how GSoC works, now it is time that you should make proper quality contributions, right? So first point is that you should be having a good understanding about the project and getting clarity on the code base, right? So first and foremost, you should be able to know what the project is, what the project does, right? And what its mission is, right? It shouldn't be something that you don't know about the project and you're still working on that, right? You should have a proper clarity that what this project is. And if someone comes and asks you about that project, you should be able to, properly describe it to them, and where the things are located in terms of the code base or something, right? So that is the essence of the very first point, right? And coming to the next point is that you should be checking open issues and pull requests to understand the workflow. So now again, like this is also something very important for beginners. So if you haven't done any such imminent contributions in the past to big projects, what you guys can actually do is that check the open issues of various organizations projects, and take a look at how discussions are going on there to understand how actually contributors are working with the organization, right? So that discussion actually gives you a very great idea that how you personally need to work when you start contributing to the project, right? So next point is that try fixing open issues and open new issues for certain bugs, features, and their improvements, right? So if you see that there are a lot of open issues and nobody is working on that, you should feel free to comment on that issue, and once the mentor approves or the admin approves that yes, you can go ahead and fix this certain bug, you can just do that, right? You can just go ahead and make the pull request for the same. And if you see that there are no certain issues opened, and you see there are some bugs or improvements in features which could be done, you just go on the issues tab and open a new issue, and ask the mentor to approve it, or if they want to have a discussion on it, they can. And once everyone is happy, you can just finalize it with a pull request of your own, right? So again, coming to the next point is that discussions on issue threads and community channels, right? So again, this is also very important, which is related to the second point as well, is that for you to get a clarity upon things about the project and about the organization, you should always take help of the community, and listen to things which people are actually talking about, right? Like if it is project related, definitely they will be talking some sense, and like once you have started observing things, you will definitely gain a lot of things in regards to the work which you will be doing once you start contributing, right? So definitely always keep an eye on that, like what people are actually talking upon, like the issue threads, like for open issues, right, for any particular project. Or there are certain community channels of various organizations, like there is Gitter, Slack, and all these sort of things, Ulip, right? All these community channels are there, which various organizations take part in, and like there are contributors, developers, and admins who are constantly talking over those community channels, right? So you should join them and get involved in discussions with them, and you will definitely get a fair observation and idea about how things are going on, right? So that brings to the last point, is that make pull requests, get them reviewed, make changes, and get them merged, right? So again, this is the final aim of your when talking about a particular contribution, is that getting a pull request or merge request merged in the code base, right? So for GitHub, we call it a pull request. For if you're contributing over GitLab, we call the same thing as merge request, right? So don't get confused over that. So yeah, so the last step is that once you have created the pull request, you should get it reviewed by the mentors or admins who are working over that or looking over that particular project. And once they have asked for some changes, or they have requested for some changes, you should have a proper discussion with them about, if you don't have clarity that what you need to do, you can definitely ask it back. And once you are clear about that, you can make the changes, and once they are ready, the mentor will approve and merge your pull request, right? So that is something which is all about, like what is it in making a contribution to a certain project, right? So if you can follow like some of these points, like if you can observe and catch some of these points, I will say definitely you have understood the workflow of open source and what you need to do in the community out there, right? Yeah, so again, talking about community, I really emphasize on this as well, is that the community interactions, right? So feel free to ask your doubts or questions over the community channels. Like many people will be there, happy to help you and guide you, right? And also you should keep in mind that until and unless it's very important or personal, you shouldn't actually try to ping someone personally until and unless, as I said, it's very important, right? And try to maintain like healthy developer relations with peers and mentors. So always try to get involved in healthy conversations over a certain project, that over a certain like feature development or a bug fix, right? Always try to get involved and bring out thoughts of your, and put them out on the channel so that everyone can notice that, and also they can reply back to your thoughts as well. So this is how like interaction actually works, and this is something which is really important, and I really emphasize on this when you're working in a community of some organization out there, right? So you should always get involved in healthy conversations and discussions with the peers, and that's also allows mentors to notice you that yes, a certain or this particular student or this certain student has been involved with us over, say, for the last couple of months, and has been actively contributing in our discussions as well, to our code base as well. So both are win-win situations for you, and that definitely increases your chance when you apply with your proposal for the Google Sum of Code itself, right? Yeah. So now some of the things is that you shouldn't be getting demotivated, right? So at first, initially, if you're a complete beginner, it might seem like a bit time taking, like for you to understand the workflow, like how people are actually working in the open source community out there. But the thing is that it's fairly simple once you have got the idea of it. Like once you have been contributing to a project or a couple of projects for let's say a fair amount of time, like say a 1 week or 2 week, I will say that is more than enough. And once you do that with consistency, you will be getting like more than like fair idea about how open source work, and the same process will be followed in every organization you go out there. It is not that a certain organization follows some different process. Every organization has the same core basic process, is that which is like having discussions over community channels, discussions over issue threads, and once the issue gets approved, you create a pull request for that particular issue, and after the pull request is like approved by the mentors, it gets merged, gets merged to the actual code base, right? So this is a way, like the basic process which I told just now, and this is followed like by different organizations out there, right? So this is something which is very stagnant across different organizations, and once you understand this workflow, life will be easy for you in the open source community, right? So you should be doing all this on a consistent basis so that you can gain self-confidence in yourself and you can do good in the open source community out there, right? So what are some of the like benefits of like even contributing into open source? Like there should be some benefits like which you can take out of like while you're contributing to projects of different organizations, right? So yeah, so here I've listed out certain points. Is that first and foremost is that it improves your coding skills, right? So once you have started working on certain projects, you can actually see where you stand, and you can improve upon things by seeing what other people are doing or what the actual code base looks like, which past developers have worked upon. You can actually take inspiration from there and improve yourself with that, right? So which brings me to the next point, is that it actually gives you an insight of actually how the code is written at an industrial level. Because see, all these organizations are top class organizations, and they and all the projects which they have are like industry level projects, and more often than not you will find be using one of such software like in your own life as well, right? So definitely if you can have an understanding of things, that how organization has laid out that particular project, it will definitely give you a lot of insight about like how code is actually written in the industry out there, right? So next point is that your network actually increases as you work with different people from different places, and you learn the process of software engineering, right? So as you contribute to all these different projects, and you talk with all these different people across, you actually start increasing your network and learn the process how you will be actually working when you start a software engineer role in the industry after a certain amount of time, or after you pass out the university, right? So all these kind of things actually really helps you a lot when talking about your career development in the future, right? So again, like the final point is that you actually create something, or you actually contribute to something which actually benefits the community, right? So if there is a very active software and you're actually contributing to that or working on that, it is again more often than not it will be something which is being used by a lot of people out there, right? A lot of users, right? So that is exciting in itself, right? That you will be contributing code or actually working on something that people are using or are getting benefit from, right? So that is the most exciting and interesting part of working in a software engineering role, that you get to create products or actually develop products which make the lives of a lot of people easier, right? So yeah, so that would be like it for today's session from my side, like for talking about the GSoC point of view. So that is something like which I wanted to tell you guys about what this program is, like what you guys need to focus about, like what you guys need to follow if you want or you see yourself getting selected, and what are some of the basic things which you need to take a note of whenever you are applying, right? So again, you can like connect with me over my LinkedIn profile, or you can just mail me, or you can follow me over Twitter and drop me a DM. I will be more than happy to help you guys out if you guys have any queries at all, right? So yeah, so again, like continuing on that part, like as I was saying in the initial part, is that we are actually also building something, right? So this is something which I have particularly involved in, and this is something which is really practical for the student community, is that even in the current time that we all are sitting at our houses, and we aren't actually be able to avail the services of all these campuses and colleges out there. We are lacking the actual skills required in the industry, or be it in the technical point of view or in the management point of view, right? There are all these we keep on hearing that there are these free resources or available out there on the internet, but we are still not able to utilize it to the best, right? So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to make a one-stop platform for students to get the free resources and videos organized, get the best internships, jobs, and opportunities all at one place, all at the same platform, right? And apart from that, you get to avail like live one-to-one like mentorship chat, as well as video sessions from top industry mentors, right, who are working currently at top companies such as Google, Microsoft, Flipkart, and much more, right? So you can just give a visit to us. We are Mentro. That this is something which I have been trying to build and trying to help out the student community by doing something really practical for the sake of their future, right? Which I believe it's certainly is going to help a lot of people even in the current situation as well. So you can just take a screenshot again for the website link, or you can just visit mentro.tech. You will be getting a lot of ideas about what we are trying to do here, right? And again, coming back, you can just like join our Telegram community channel. We keep on sharing like important things like over our platform updates and app updates. We have live doubt clarification sessions by top mentors, right? We have a lot of mentors out there in our channel who are willing to help you live. Whenever you drop in the chat something, they are there to help you out. There will be live discussions there. We will be sharing latest opportunity updates and much more. So again, I will be sharing this link on the chat itself. You guys can join it out, or you guys can take a screenshot of this and you guys can join in the community, right? And for the platform which I've been talking about, we have got the official Android app available on Google Play Store. You can just search for Mentro on Google Play Store, and the first app which comes out, it will be ours, right? So you can just check it out yourselves, and I believe that we have been able to do justice with the kind of services we are trying to provide, and it will definitely add values to a lot of you guys out there who are trying to explore, and even in the current situation who are trying to get ready for technical jobs and internships, right? So yeah, so that is something which I wanted to tell you guys about the kind of platform which we are trying to build. And yeah, so that will be it from my side. Like, you guys can let me know any kind of questions you have, or like you can connect with me over LinkedIn, as I said, and you guys are free to drop in anything you want to ask me. I will be more than happy to help you guys out. And yeah, so thanks guys, like that will be it for me. I will be taking up questions now if you guys have anything, and I will be sharing the imminent links which I have promised over the chat.
It'll be really great that if you can turn on
Yeah,
your
guys, I
camera.
will be taking questions now. If you guys have anything to. Yeah, sure.
It was a wonderful session, both. So many things.
So I'd like to hear from all the audience out there. How was the session? Like, we are about to go. We have still 10 to 20 minutes. We'll be explaining everything. We got your doubts. So how was it? Like, rate out of 10 or rate out of 100 or rate how much you can. So yeah, it's awesome. Like, even I'm also getting some DMs. Personally, so it's cool. Okay, 300, nice. So before we proceed to the question, I'd like to know like how much you got to know. Like, many of you might be knowing a lot of things, a lot of misinformation, a lot of myths. So I hope everybody is broken down into pieces and those pieces into a nice thing so that you can start with another journey. Like, so we are having a lot of questions. So I'll be starting with the first question. So the first question is very interesting and it's from Anshuman that to Jaideep is, I started into looking on the organization on 1st of April. Should I had any chance of getting selected? Like, I'll frame the question. He has just started looking for the organization. He has started his developing journey. So how much chance for a newbie to get into, like, what is your view, please?
Yeah, sure. So see, first and foremost thing is that again, Google is trying to promote open source at the end of the day, right? So again, you shouldn't see this as some sort of competition. You should you are free to start at any point of time during the day or at throughout the year, right? So it shouldn't be something primarily focused for GSoC. GSoC is something which you get to achieve throughout your journey, right? You have been doing open source for some point of time, or you have got some sort of experience in that, and now that you have got that experience, you apply to various organizations and they select you, and you will get actually some benefits inside that program, right? So again, you should see at the end of the day that this is an open source program, and you should be learning and focusing more towards open source at the end of the day, right? So first and foremost, I would say that try to if you have already started, have chosen a certain project, I would say that just get started with it, like without even thinking, right? Spend a couple of days trying to understand what the project actually is, what it does, where are things located, like talking in terms of the code base, right? And get involved in good healthy discussions with your peers or other code developers working, and as well as the admins or mentors in the channels, or the community channels, right? So just get started with it, and I will say once the you approach near the deadline, you can just apply. See, nothing is guaranteed, but I will say once that you have started gaining that experience, I will say you will definitely have a positive result out of that. So yes, so I will say that you can just get started
exactly,
with it without even
So
thinking,
yeah,
right?
Bhavish, do you have any question? Like, do you want to add something?
No, Vishnu, I guess we wish to take on this tag.
Okay.
Questions, so we need
Yeah.
to keep this thing in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'll be giving some like a bit like a brief of summary. Like, just if you want to suggest is that rather than wasting on too many organization, what stack of knowledge I have, we should be trying to find it out and keep try as much as possible. So another next question is that similar kind of question is, I have learned MERN stack development, and I have
Exactly.
basic knowledge about it. So contributed to one project in GitHub, how not at GSoC. So contributing at any project which is available in GitHub is okay, or should we only focus on the big projects which is related to GSoC, all the organizations that are posting? So what is your view?
Yeah. So see, if you are getting started in the open source community or in the open source development, I will say definitely you should start with some projects which have a lesser activity, so that that will give you a great experience while you are starting out. Now coming to the GSoC thing, that if you are trying to get selected for GSoC, so definitely you will be needing to work on something which is provided by a certain big organization, or an organization which has been selected selected in Google Sum of Code, right? So if you're, I will say, if you're answering to your question, that if you are a beginner, you can definitely like choose any project which might be big or might be small, doesn't matter. You can just gain experience on that how to work in the open source community, how to use GitHub, how to use Git, and how you can actually make a project work, like how you can develop features, how you can fix bugs. All these things are the primary components while working in the open source community out there, right? So once you have gathered all this experience, you can just go ahead, like see all this, like there are all these archives of like the past GSoC organizations which have been getting selected. You can just go through those and choose any of the organizations. There are a lot of great organizations. You can choose any of the organizations and take a look at their projects and just get started with contributing into any of those you like, right? It's all up to your interest.
We have got
so yeah,
Rishita, like complete roadmap to first year BTech CC. I guess we don't have to take this question because the session is all about GSoC. So
Yeah.
question from that. Rishita, you can ping me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer you, or from any other committee member. I'll be clear your doubt. And however, I guess the first year has been ended, so we are no more first year students. So keep this in mind. Yeah, over to you both.
Yeah, exactly. So you can find our lead, like if any member of DSC will be sharing all the links, after which you can take, like, come to us or come to Jaideep.
Yeah.
So one interesting question, again similar kind of question, is that how should we or should I start contributing to your organization? Like what should be the first step, right? Should we start like adding some points to a readme file or directly in the code base? Like what should be the approach of a newbie? Like,
yeah, certainly. So again, it's like this is a very great question. Like I would say, like this is something which I see a lot of people doing, but actually forgetting the actual essence of open source contribution. So see, like updating a readme file or like fixing a typo is great. Like at the end of the day, it is a open source contribution. But the thing is, like if you are actually seeing this for a long term, and you are actually trying to get in all these kind of programs like GSoC and all these kind of things, you should always try to actually do quality contributions rather than such things of like a readme updation or something. So you should always focus on quality over quantity. Like the number of pull requests doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like if you have a couple of pull requests with good feature development and bug fixing, that adds more value rather than if you have made a pull request with a readme update or a typo fix, right? So that is something which I tell a lot of students, that you should focus on the basics more than like just going for the quantity of number of pull requests that you have made, right?
And
so yeah,
he's a student from Odisha in a third year college, and teachers are also not aware of these programs, and I'm stuck here. But I really contribute to big tech companies. Please suggest how to manage my time. He's asking regarding the time.
yeah. So again, so time management is something we as students, we as like engineers rather, that it is something which is in our blood. Like if we are interested in something, we like get habituated with that, and we get addicted to that, and we do manage and find time to do that particular thing. So if you have started gaining that interest in any technical field, be it open source or any other thing, you will definitely find yourself in a position that you are doing that particular thing more often than not during the day, right? So yeah, so that is something which is certainly dependent on your time schedule, how things are working out for you. Like even if for a day, like if you have got a hell lot of assignments given by college, so definitely on that particular day you won't be able to contribute or put time a lot of time into open source or something like that. But definitely you can just make up for that for on some other day, or maybe on some weekends, right? Because open source is again something which isn't dependent that yes, you need to work throughout the week, like the weekdays only. It is something which you can take a look at during even the weekends as well, right? So yeah, so that is something which you can definitely manage.
Like a pretty much interesting question. Like many of the students must be aware of it, but still it's like ambiguous. So sir, he's writing like this. It is Atul Kanitian. Sir, I have selected an organization and I have researched about the idea well. I just want to know how to start the proposal and how to make an impactful proposal. He wants to ask is that he knows the organization, like where to start, how to start, what all he need to add before he apply. Please.
Right. Right. So once you have selected the organization, you first and foremost should select the project which you actually want to work upon. You should check out the ideas list or ideas page of the organization, that what all projects they are proposing. And once you know about and have checked out the code base which interests you, you just actually you need to actually plan out the stuff which you want to complete over the period of time, right? So breaking down things is a very important thing when you're drafting a proposal, right? Like if you have planned out that yes, I will be making this like feature or developing this big feature, but you should be able to break it down into sub parts and actually write it down in such a manner that you are explaining that how you will be developing it over that period of time, right? So once you keep yourself as the third person and you read the stuff which you have written and you are able to understand what you have written, I think it's more than enough that you will be you can tell that yes, I have written a good proposal, that I've been able to make someone understand that what I want to achieve or what I want to achieve
So
during
both, I guess
what
we
I
have
want to complete rather
clear the
during this
answer of yes as
GSoC
well as
period,
we
right?
have similar kind of questions, right? Atul, Kadian and Yash Patel. Before the Atul, I guess answer has been clear. The next question is very pretty simple. How many times can we take part in GSoC? Now, Jaideep, that would be great if you will speak.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually like the number of times is actually 2. It's mentioned on their website. You can actually be a GSoC student twice, right? But like again, from the new changes, what they have done is that they have increased one slot. Like you from like this year you can actually participate 3 times, but I will suggest not to, because again this is a program like which encourages like new developers to come on forefront and start contributing to open source and get a taste of the benefits of this open source community, right? So that is something which I will say that you can participate for thrice, but I will say one time is more than enough for you to
Exactly.
gain
So the next
that
question we have
experience
from
and
Gaurav, which is
workflow into that open
what
source
would be the
community
best
which
time
you
to
want.
go for GSoC? I'm now in first year of BTech CC. I learn only basics. Will I apply or not, or in which year I'll be applying? Just in a brief way, Jaideep.
Yeah. So like see, there is no such like time frame like in or a certain year which you need to apply. Like I talking about myself, I like cracked GSoC in my very first year, so I want to say that it's impossible to crack GSoC in first year because I have myself experienced that, right? So that will be a vague kind of thing for me to say that. So definitely you will you can actually participate in any year, like in whatever year you are, but given that you have got some experience, like you have like tried out things, like you have started contributing to open source projects, like say for the past 2 months you have started looking out for organizations, bigger organizations which you want to contribute to, and you have developed like healthy relations with the co-developers and peers working out in the community. So once you do that, whatever year you are in the college, it doesn't actually matter. You can
Exactly.
definitely go for
Yeah, I'll be
GSoC
asking one like,
during
most
any year.
important question. I am not seeing this question. Like majorly what people think is that we'll be write very glossy proposal and we'll be promising a lot of things that like time-wise timeline. But I do believe I was searching a lot. I was talking many of the other people. It's like, do proposal is very important, or is it the only thing, or rather than focusing on many things on proposal, we should be start contributing from the 2 months back, or what should be the pathway? Like if it's starting from April, so if somebody is in December, like what should be his motto first? Like selecting organization gone. Next step is like how only focus on proposal or doing some contribution to its project. What is your point on it?
Yeah, great question. So again, so like contributions is something which I will say it's the most important thing. Like if you are like actually want to participate in a program like GSoC. So contributions is something which a mentor, first and foremost, like I personally being a mentor, I can say that when I look at a proposal, I actually look for past contributions, right? Like whenever I see that yes, this person has contributed a lot in the past or has made some contributions, I just have that assurance that yes, this person has got a clear understanding of what the project is, right? So you yourself can judge that once a person looks at your contributions, he has got understanding that yes, this person, if I select this person, he can actually work on the project and I can actually complete the project because he has been contributing for the last couple of months or last 4 months, right? Something like that. So again, this is something which is very important. Like you should always focus on the contributions, but again, having said that, when you draft the proposal, you should always keep in mind what deliverables you actually want to complete, what the organization has proposed in. It is not something that you can just vaguely write all the contributions and just submit the proposal, but that wouldn't make any sense, right? The proposal is something that you need to clearly describe or structurize the things which you are going to work upon, like in the GSoC period once you get selected, right? So definitely, so I would say both things are important. Like you should, but again, like the term which you use, that you shouldn't be making some glossy proposal or something like that. It should be like plain and simple, like the mentor or the person should be able to understand what thing you are going to carry out if you are going to get selected, and it should be just clear, a clarity should be there, and the mentor should be able to understand the things, and you should, and if you are able to add in your past
all the folks out here, all
that's
the
more than enough. I
make
would say
one thing sure, that contribution, as Mr. Jaideep suggested, it's very important rather than focusing on like any other platform. Like keep focusing that what you have contributed, like love to add those points, because that is the only one criteria that as a mentor he's telling, he'll be focusing on the first, that only. And I have one more question. Like I am not seeing this kind of question, but still a question from my side is that most of the first year student are not aware. I'm not telling that many of are not aware, many of are aware, but most of the people don't find a right way to start. For example, let us take a scenario. If a person who is good at development, he knows basic development, but haven't contributed, or his like no more pull request has been merged, or he has no contribution to the community, but still he has written a good proposal and he has posted to the organization. He has a knowledge, he has not, like his no contribution has been done, but good profile and good Git repo. And on the other side, his proposal is not that proper and nothing that fancy things, not well structured, but he has a good contribution, 2 or 3 pull requests merged. So among the both, who will be getting the priority from a mentor itself?
so that is, so again, so that actually varies from mentor to mentor or admin to admin. Like if a certain mentor thinks that yes, I will be giving like more priority to just contributions, I won't be reading the proposal at all, which is like very rare. So that in that case, definitely the second person would be like getting selected, whoever has like say 3 to 4 pull requests merged. But again, like talking in general, like what most of the mentors and most of the organization admins do is that they try to keep a balance between everything, right? Like definitely contributions help. Like even if you have 1 or 2 open pull requests, like even if they are not merged, they are you can say that yes, you have tried to make contributions to that, right? So contribution to that particular organization and project, right? So that actually adds up to your whatever things you are going to write, right? So maybe it's like whatever you're going to write, it's something like extraordinarily brilliant, like it's like if that could be implemented, that would be great for the project. But apart from that, if you have like got an idea about the code base, like if you have made say 1 to 2, I wouldn't say like a hell lot of contributions. I would say like if you have like made one or 2 open pull requests, even at least, I would say you have more
That's
than
an
fair
amazing,
chance of
amazing.
getting selected.
I think nowhere in the
included all the
community
things
speaking
in
all
there,
about
right?
this. Like we are really happy that we are getting all these insights. Like this many questions are very important, but people are talking how to get selected. Like what are the ingredients one needs to have in order to get selected? That's very important. Thanks a lot, Jaideep, for this. Like Bhavesh, do you have any question from?
Can ask not all the question books, those who are related to the GSoC, you can ask this question because we have so many questions are here, so we need to keep this thing in mind.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to cover.
Yeah, important thing, guys, regarding the recording, that will be shared on our YouTube channel, so don't worry regarding it. And regarding all the links, I'll get from the Jaideep, and I'll share all the details that have been done on presentation. We'll share on the email. So don't worry regarding that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like folks, many of you I can see are really worried and panicked about what to get the recording. Will be kindly subscribe the YouTube channel. And regarding the roadmap and everything, I think I'll share the LinkedIn ID of Mr. Jaideep Prasad. You can visit, or as a website he suggested, and application that you have on the Play Store, you can also visit there. It will be help for the community itself. So back to my question is that I have never contributed to open source. How to know which organization is suitable for me? So it's a very basic question, like how you're taking this. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, as I said, like first and foremost, there is this beautiful platform called GitHub. Like once you go there, like you can just like if you type in like your tech stack, like if you just type in like say web development or JavaScript or something like that, you will get a hell lot of projects like of different various people or maybe various organizations. Even if they are not that big, you will get a lot of like projects in front of your eyes, right? So you can just go through them and like see which project actually interests you or whose idea actually suits you, and you can just take a look at their code base and like just get started with it, right? Even before thinking anything, like if you are a complete beginner and want to just get started, I will say just forget everything and just find a project, whoever, like it might be it like a big organization or be it someone's personal project, like just get started with like towards contributing on it, because that will actually understand like make you understand the workflow, like what you actually need to do when you start contributing to a big organization of certain sorts, be it in GSoC or at some other place, right? So definitely just get started with contributing onto any project, and once you like you have that self-confidence that yes, given any project I can start working on it and I can start making pull requests or having those discussions with the community members. Once you have got that self-confidence, just you have all this like past Google Sum of Code organization archives, like wherein you can see like which organizations were selected in the past, and you can just go through them. Like there is this category segregation kind of thing where like you can choose your category. Like if you are a web developer kind of person, you can just select the category as web, and the organizations will be filtered out as like all those organizations will be filtered out who have like certain web projects with them, right? So you can definitely take a look at all their code bases, and once whichever suits you, like whichever project suits you, just start contributing to it, right? It's all in the like building experience and like gaining that understanding of the workflow, because when the time comes, all these contributions are going to matter, and it will be going to add up to your experience, which you can actually put out in your proposal, even if it's a different organization you are proposing to, right? That like those admins or mentors can actually see that yes, you have contributed to some other organization in the past, and you have all this, you have made all these contributions, right? So that definitely helps in your proposal.
I started pursuing iOS development. I want to know the right path that I need to follow to earn a GSoC internship, and if there is any scope for iOS development. I recently learned about open source, and I have been genuinely interested in contributing to open source community. Like regarding the iOS is asking how we can into the GSoC and all sort of things regarding the organization from iOS development. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is kind of similar question. Like once you like go to the organization section, you can just like filter out like end user applications, and you will see a lot of like organizations who have like mobile development projects, right? Like once you click on a certain organization card, you will like get to see what all technologies they are involved in, they have like projects on. And if you see iOS on any organization, just get started with it. Like before even thinking about it, if you see a certain organization has your like the tech stack which interests you, be it iOS or Android or anything, just get started with it, right? Just start contributing to the organization, contributing to the project, and whenever the time comes and whenever you feel that yes, you have made certain contributions and you want to apply for GSoC, just go ahead with it. No issues.
In some open source projects, so that will be okay. So I guess we have covered this question. Very important questions, Jaideep, for you. He wanted to ask from you, like in which organization you are working as a mentor. Are there any vaccination to be a contributor to your organization, or there are already some selected students?
Yeah, so I will just share the organization link which I am mentoring. You guys can check it out and can go through the ideas list. I have just shared it on the chat. The organization name is Aussie. So you can just check out the projects which we have. Like there are a lot of mobile development projects, there are a lot of backend projects as well. So you can just go through them, and whatever interests you, we have got our mentors, we have got our own Gitter channel wherein a lot of developers are constantly talking with each other. So you can just hop onto the platform,
one of the
have a chat and get started with
very
the contributions.
ignored topic people miss usually from a in the aspect of a first year or second year student. Like the question is something like this: like what should be the level of programming knowledge? For example, if I am a programmer, what should be the level of my programming knowledge in order to participate in a project? For example, like I'll be adding my own question also. Like for example, we know that Blender and Arduino, there are a lot of softwares that are available that we use in our day-to-day life, right? So it is also in the GSoC organization, they are also participating. So it's a very big code base. So do we need to know very much good development knowledge in order to take part, or only like basic programming properly? So this is my question, like how you are seeing it, please.
So again, so as I said, I won't say that if you are a complete a total beginner, that you haven't got any sort of experience. Like maybe, as I said, also I mentioned this in my presentation today as well, like you should focus that whatever tech stack you have, you should be be able to make say 2 to 3 good projects, not complete beginner level projects I would say, but still a standard industry level project, like maybe some standard project which is available in the community, or which you think would be good. There are a lot of project ideas. If you just do a Google search, you will get a lot of project ideas. You can just pick like couple of good project ideas and just get started working upon that. Because once you have developed 1, 2 to 3 projects, you will yourself get that self confidence that yes, if given a certain code base, or if given a certain project idea, I can actually develop that, or I can actually make that, right, with the help of my coding skills. So that self confidence is really very important when coming to these open source contributions, right? So again, as the point you said that about the large code base, so again you actually need to spend some time. I would say that is the first and primary important thing when talking about big code bases of large organizations, right? You spend a couple of days time, you spend a week's time to understand the code base, you put in consistent efforts, you talk with your core developers who have been working on the code base for a lot of time, right? So all these kind of help actually makes you understand about that code base a lot faster, right? You shouldn't be being silent and just trying to crack your head every day what the actual big code base is, where all the things are. You can just start asking for help on the community channels, as I mentioned today as well. Community interactions are really very important and really very helpful when talking about the long term kind of thing. So yeah, so just start asking questions, throwing questions, and get involved in discussions, and just put in some time, spend 1 or 2 week time to understand the code base, try to fix couple of bugs, couple of open issues, right? And definitely you will get a better idea about the code base, and you can then start thinking about feature development on that particular project.
I got a
right?
question same like this. After this, I think everybody is clear. I'll be asking a quick question that how it will be if we invite Jaideep sir once again for a individual topic. How it will be? Are you excited for it? So just a simple question, folks. Are you excited? If we invite sir for another day, it will be great. Just would love to know.
Exactly. For another question, another technology, if you guys are interested, definitely come for sure. That I believe the overwhelming response from our university students. What do you think, Jaideep, regarding that?
Yeah, so we are getting a lot of responses. Oh my god, we are getting a number of responses. That's absolutely nice folks. So I have we'll be going we have to wrap up because we are running out of time. But one question that actually it's revolving, keep on in the feed. Is it a good way? It's a better way if we first start contributing towards GitHub, a random project whosoever has created. We found a lot of organizations that is not part of GSoC. GSoC has already many organizations, so it is a good way rather than applying your request to direct GSoC organizations, or like any organization that is well reputed, we can see contribution. So is it the better way to first start with the normal one, then trying to GSoC, or like what is your view? Like one of the few last questions.
Yeah. So yeah, sure. So like again, like if you are a actual like complete beginner, like if you have no idea about open source contribution, so definitely you can definitely go ahead and trying out like looking at the code bases of like the active organizations, like all these big organizations which are participating this year. But again, like if that interests you, or if like you are able to understand it at the very first go, that's like more than good for you. But I would say like being like if you're a complete beginner in the open source community, just like look for projects which are like have a less kind of activity from the like core developer point of thing, so that you can actually build your own experience on that, right? Because when you actually work on something yourself, you will actually spend time like trying to figure out things and how to work in that environment, and in that way you will actually be gaining that your self experience, and you will be at the end of the day you will have that self confidence in yourself that yes, you can actually contribute to much bigger projects when the time allows you, or when the time comes, right? So once you have done that, once you have like contributed to say 2 to 3 like smaller projects, or some smaller organizations for say about 1 month or so, then I will say that you will have like I could say that you will have a good amount of experience, and then you can go ahead and start contributing towards much bigger organizations, which are all these like great organizations which are actively participating every year in Google Sum of Code, and have all these like huge projects with them, right? So yeah, so definitely just start out with a couple of projects, a couple of like less active projects if you're a complete beginner, and once you have got that 1 month of experience up your sleeves, just go ahead and check out all these big organizations and the projects.
Exactly.
I want to
So
ask one question, Jaideep. One commitment from you, Jaideep. It's a live commitment, so people are listening to you and me and as well as the response I guess you got, and people really love your session. So I want one session on Git and GitHub. That would be more great. If you take this session for our university student, that would be more great. What do you think? Like you do commitment for that? Albans?
Yeah, sure, Bhavesh, no worries.
Guys, you want
Yeah, sure. That will be
spam it, spam guys, spam. Only your spamming can help.
yeah. Because Jaideep is having very busy schedule, very busy. But he's doing live commitment, so we'll see. Once Jaideep is free, definitely will take in this session for Git and Git.
67 messages in less than 10 seconds. This is what an
you are
impact
more
is.
popular in now in LPU. Like people are really excited to know and learn from you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's amazing,
Yeah,
folks.
that's
like
great.
before we proceed and wrap up, few of the most important questions. Rather than being a developer, rather than being a geek, we all need to know that how to frame our mindset. So I'll be coming back to Bhavesh sir also. Before coming to Bhavesh bhai, we'll be asking Jaideep. Please, can you tell me what was your mindset apart from having many breakdowns? Because it's a journey. We all need to keep motivated. So what was your motivation behind? Like you are from first year, you have been contributing. So it was not like that, overnight you are becoming a developer. So all the hardship and the, like roads that were off, so you need to change, and all the mindset. Please, can you please share me?
Yeah, sure. So the very like initial mindset which I had is that even I have now, which actually drives me forward, is that I want to actually make something, or at the end of the day, like before going to my bed or before going to sleep, I actually want to have made something, or have been able to achieve something which I can say that yes, I have been able to add value to a lot of people's lives, or even like I myself can be proud of, like at the end of the at the end of the day before I go to sleep, right? So I guess that like a frame of mind, like I want to beat any situation, like that utter determination. So this is something which I also want to add. Like if you are like a student, which I was like say 1 year back, and was trying to figure out things, like whenever you think about something, like if you want to achieve something, you just need to have this like very strong determination in yourself, that come what may, like whatever time of the day it is, like even if there are a lot of if even a lot of excuses are available in front of you, you shouldn't be giving yourself that privilege, because you already are well privileged enough that you are living your life in today's world, and a lot of people don't have all these privileges which you are getting, right? If you are currently living in a house, and a lot of people are out there who don't have even a house, right? So you should be grateful to all the privileges you have, and you should take that as a motivation, and just build that utter determination in yourself that yes, if you want to achieve something, and be it given any frame of time, no one should be able to tell you that you can't do certain thing, that you are in your first year, you won't be able to achieve certain thing. No one should be able to tell you certain things like that. You should be the one who should be able to judge yourself, and you should have that utter determination in yourself that yes, if you want that, you will be able to achieve that if you have that determination. So that frame of mind, I guess, has certainly helped me even from my starting days, that if I wanted something, I put my 100%, 120% to achieve that, and come what may. So I guess I will encourage all the students, all the attendees today out there, that if you are trying to plan out something and you want something, you just need to put your mind into it, and definitely you can just achieve it at any point of time. No one can tell you what to do.
Exactly, Jai. That was really great. So, folks, will wrap up this call by 7 p.m.
Last two questions from each of the members. So I'll be coming back to Bhavesh bhai. Like, I got a lot of questions regarding how to manage time. So if you all don't know, he's also a full stack developer, also managing two big community from Microsoft and Google. So Bhavesh bhai, my question is to you: what will be your opinion, like, in order to motivate our audience, like how you manage and how you take problems and all these problem statements and you solve it? Like, what is your one tip to every newbies out there?
Yeah, obviously, I do when I start my day, so I do to-do list. So that is the one important thing you can make it. So to-do list is a very important thing. So just whenever you wake up in the morning, just write each and everything in maybe the diary, maybe the to-do list app. By the end of the day, you can check it like whether you have done this thing or not, and from entire day, and make it hashtag kind of initiative that I usually do for myself, like hashtag 30 days code or something like that, and continuously for learning any technology, just give it 2 hours, maybe the 1 hour, whatever is feasible for you. So that will be more good. And there is one rule that everyone knows, maybe you're not aware, so I would like to share with you, which is 21 by 90 ka rule. 21 by 90 ka rule says this: for making a hobby, it takes 21 days. So making hobby, it takes 21 days. So do whatever you want to do up to the 21 days for constantly 2 hours or 1 hour, whatever it's feasible for you. And for becoming a lifetime, if you do constantly for the 90 days, that will be your lifetime thing. So I guess these two things are enough, getting motivation like 21 by 90 and to-do list is enough to make you an expert for any of the technology. So yeah, boss.
That's great. That's amazing. That's amazing. And before we wrap up, one last word from you, Jaideep. Please, like any last suggestion as all your fellow audience, you want to love to say, like anything that you wanted to say, please.
Yeah, sure. So the last thing which I will share is that, like, guys, if you are planning to if you want to do something good in your life, like, it's no better time, right? Like, if you are living this life for the first and last time, this is your only chance. Just think it like that. Don't get lazy at any point of time, because life is too short to get lazy. Just start working on your dreams and what all you are trying to achieve. I'm saying this to everyone, either you are a beginner or you are an intermediate person or you are a complete expert kind of a person. You should never get complacent at any point of time. You should always be open to learning, and just do a constant learning over a period of time, right? You shouldn't be getting lazy at any point of time. Just be in that frame of mind that you are always eager to learn, and just do that. If you want to achieve something, no one will be able to stop you until and unless you yourself are getting stopped in at certain amount of time, right? So just do that. We ourselves are also trying to build something, and we are trying to support all of you out there in these hard times and all the things going on around the world currently. We are trying to make this world a better place for everybody, so that everyone could achieve their dreams as they want it, right? Because everyone should have that empowerity, and should have that clarity of mindset, what they want to achieve, right? So yeah, so that will be something which I would want to say, is that if you want something, just go get it and put your constant efforts over a certain period of time before you get it, and so that no one is able to stop you
So,
before you
Exactly.
achieve that.
We should go for wrap up this call.
Yeah, exactly. As we said,
Yep.
we entirely thank all the attendees for bearing such a long hour, and we are really grateful to all the audience from first year, second year who concluded their time after having been a schedule, and even the most big wholehearted thank you to Mr. Jaideep, who came out from his tedious work and gave an opportunity to all of you to coordinate and communicate with us. And thanks a lot, whole Developer Student Club, Lovely Professional University community, all the core members, board member for their effortless job, what have they done for a fabulous event. And especially thanks to Bhavesh Mali, DSC lead, an entire team of dsclpu. And once again, all the best. Don't lose your hopes until you get your way. So that's all said. Bye from now. Signing off. Thanks a lot, folks, for joining us. And stay tuned. We'll be live back for everything. Yeah, please.
So Jaideep, behalf of DSC lead, I would like to thank you for joining us, from my personal way. So that was really great and for giving your time. So yeah, that's it.
Sure, Bhavesh. Sure. Thanks, team, for having me on today's session. It was a really great time for me, and I was honored to add some value to people who are looking to contribute and start their open source work.
Thank you, and have a good day to everyone.